don't even know where some food comes from the grocery stores. So they learn so many things when they garden.
So they really want to be a part of it. Some of them at first, they're really excited about it, but then there are others that say, I really want to know a little bit more about this. So it's more than just looking and glancing at it. It's like, how can I be a part of this? Because I've seen it go from being just a seed and now it's growing and I want to be a part of that process.
So they really take care of everything and do it all and know how to do it all. And they have a lot of pride in that, in showing whoever comes into our classroom what they do and how they do it and what they've grown.
I think it's really cool that they're learning how food is actually grown now, because so many places are using all hydroponics, and so it's really opening their mind to see different ways that food can grow.
Learning how to grow is really important, and when you see it in person, it's a lot different than just reading about it or seeing pictures of it. And taking the fresh produce that you grow and then being able to cook it and taste it in your classroom, then potentially going home and requesting it at home, I think is pretty powerful of an impact.
It tastes different because it's more fresh at the moment, and also when you freshly pick it and just go wash it real quick and then eat it, it's crunchy and delicious. But when you buy it from the store, it doesn't taste normal.
This is the best salad I ever tasted. This salad is so much yummier than my mom's own salad.
Having like a fresh lettuce that you just picked is really, it has its unique taste.
It was my first time ever trying bok choy and kale. They looked pretty weird at first. When my friends told me to try it, I just took a bite and it was super good.
Oh, it's so cute because they really have a new taste when they try like tomatoes from the grocery store. I mean, they don't taste the same as fresh from the vine, and just their brains are exploding. Like normally they want to ask for ranch and they just pop it without it, so that's amazing.
In the spring of 2024, Fort Hays was unexpectedly without a choir teacher. The principal, Dr. Milton Ruffin, took it upon himself to teach the class. Their final project was to be a recording of a song written by Dr. Ruffin. We now present to you the result of their hard work.
All right, let's do Celebrate. Are you ready? Go. So when you get the drop the jaw instead of ya. 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 1, 2, ready, and ya.
I was pretty nervous. I'm not even gonna lie. I was nervous, but then again, I was very excited. I was like, this is my first time going to record. I hope I don't mess this up for everybody. You know, all these thoughts in my head. But at the end of the day, I'm glad I did it. I have no regrets of doing it. I wish I could do it again. Sadly, this is my last year. But yeah.
There's a brighter day coming, and it's getting closer every day. There is a brighter day coming where we all participate and will overcome that day.
He treated us like he treats his college students.
Yeah, which was cool, but at the same time, it's a little rough to meet those expectations.
It was very challenging for us to get there.
So we clap our hands and we lift our voices. At home, I can find a better you. At home, you can find a better me. At home.
I listened to just the stems of the song every day for about 2 weeks before the recording session, and then when I came in, you know, we did about 2 takes of it. I think it was a combination of like the first and second take, and looked at the digital audio workstation on his computer, and you know, try to make, you know, the drums sound as, you know, keen to the song as possible.
Now we stand at last. There's a brighter day coming, and it's getting closer every day. There is a brighter day coming where we all participate and will overcome that day. We celebrate the mountains we come over and press towards a perfect.
And so it's tricky, especially for people who are not used to recording, young students, people who it's their first time recording. They get nervous. There's really no audience to give you that energy feedback and that appreciation for what you're doing. It's just an empty room with me.
CCS Cinema Club, welcome. My name is Leia Gersing, and I'm here with, of course, Sarah Durr. And it's just us today, no special guests, because we're getting into this movie. We're talking about Dune Part 2 today.
What if Paul Atreides were still alive?
Going on adventures, flying in space, surfing ancient sandworms, and fighting in an interstellar war. Dune is the science fiction with a message to spread that we will be talking about today. So, without further ado, sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. All right, Sarah, we're talking about Dune today. Are you excited?
I'm so excited. This movie was so good. I didn't know what to expect going into it, but I was I loved it. It was so good.
So when did you see, did you watch Dune 1 with me, Part 1 with me?
No, I was there when you were finishing it. Okay. I watched Dune 1 the last day it was on Netflix.
Oh, yeah.
So I just
were kind of
under the
late.
wire. I was kind of late. I hadn't seen it when it originally came out.
Yeah.
But I really liked that one too.
Yeah.
I'd say definitely between the two, I preferred the second one.
Yeah.
Just because the first one kind of felt like there was a lot of exposition, which of course it had to be with, such a big story. But I really liked the second one.
Yeah, I agree. I think the first one was a lot of setup, which can move kind of slowly, but it kind of gets you set up for the next movie, which is important. But it can be a lot. And so a lot of people might have said that the first one was a bit boring. And I honestly like setup movies, which is kind of weird. So I really enjoyed the first one, but I did like the second one better. It's definitely more action-packed. So if you like action-packed movies and you saw the first one, you were like, I don't know. Watch the second one because I think you'll enjoy it. There's a lot to talk about Dune, but let's talk about why is it worth it to see the second one?
Oh my gosh, so many reasons. I feel like the main thing that a lot of people are talking about is the effects. It was really incredible. There's a lot of ways that the things in this movie could have looked like really crazy with bad effects, but it looked so good. There were a lot of really action-packed moments that you felt like you were really in the action.
Yeah.
'Cause sometimes bad special effects, they really just take you out of it, but there were a lot of good special effects. The visuals are amazing. And just the story is it's complex and it has a really important message for people to hear. So yeah.
Yeah. There's a lot of cool themes. There's a lot of religious themes, and then also a lot of themes about war, and those kind of go together. So that was really interesting. We'll probably get more into that more in the spoilers end. So what type of audience do we think would enjoy Dune? If you're more of an action person, what do we think?
I think that definitely sci-fi fans would really love it. Also, anyone who likes action movies, people who read the books. I personally didn't read the books, but I think that it's really interesting to see the translation between book to movie.
Yeah.
So yeah,
we love book to movie adaptations on this pod.
We love it.
We love them. Honestly, I think that a science fiction lover, if you love things like Star Wars, even Harry Potter, I think you'll like this.
Yeah.
It's fun. It's a really good one. And I also think that this is, while it's a very serious movie, there's a lot of comedic elements in it, which I thought was really cool. So let's talk about some of our favorite characters. Well, who is your fave character? I can't remember her name.
It's
the one that Zendaya plays. I honestly cannot remember her name either, but it was Desert Spring was her one of her names, which foreshadows a moment in the movie that we'll talk about later. But yeah, Desert Spring. We'll call her Desert Spring or Zendaya. That works. Go ahead.
Oh my gosh, I just loved her. I thought that she was really honest. She was able to see. We'll get more into that in the spoilers section.
Yeah.
But I thought that she expressed what she was feeling, and she didn't sugarcoat things, and she kept it very real And yeah, I just really liked that about her character.
All right. Well, Sarah, do you have anything else to say about the Dune movie?
Oh my gosh.
Wrap us up.
Just that it's definitely worth the watch, even if you're not a science fiction person. Personally, I always have a hard time, as you could probably tell, like following more science fiction-y, like complex storylines, but I really loved it. I thought it was such a good story. It was beautiful visually, and yeah, it's definitely worth a watch.
Yeah, it's a long movie, but it's worth all the time. Get in there, go to the theaters, watch it. I believe it's just in theaters right now, but it should come out soon, I'm sure. But yeah, thank you guys so much for listening to our CCS Cinema Club podcast, and we will see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.
Hi, I'm Yolanda. I've been a bus driver with Columbus City Schools for 15 years. I love it. It's flexible. I was a single mom with 4 kids, and I needed the flexibility and the hours. So being able to work a split shift was awesome. Making sure that you make contact with each kid every day, it changes them, changes me. Columbus City Schools brought a lot to my life. I believe I'm a family. We're a family. I really enjoy what I do. And it's not just about the kids. You have teachers, you have employees, and they all contribute to what we do best here, and that's educate. Actually taught me how to drive, taught me directions, north side, east side, west side. I didn't know where I was going when I first started. Now I know everywhere, the whole Columbus. Tuition reimbursement, I was able to go to school. Come join us. Apply now at ccsjobs.org.
Today we went to all of the feeder schools, so all of the elementary schools and 2 of the middle schools that feed into West, and we did a clap out with their kindergartners and 5th graders.
The walk was really fun. My favorite part was seeing all the little kids and seeing how happy they were and knowing that they're going to be here one day with us. Showing students that they can graduate one day as long as you stay on track with everything that you need to and you just stay focused on the stuff that you want, then you can really do it.
With such an exciting event today, it's so great to see our kids that we haven't seen since they were in elementary school. I was lucky enough to be their teacher for 2nd and 3rd grade, so it was really special to see this group come through.
Just great opportunity to celebrate, and it's important because it builds the connection. And I think that's something we really need on the West Side, is to build a connection between our elementary, middle school, and high school students.
We always talk to the kids about what happens after elementary school, but an event like today shows them where they can be in the next few years. I think it just shows them how all of their hard work can pay off as well in the future.
Greetings and welcome to this week's highlights from across the district. Recently, our Fort Hays Career Center construction trade students helped build a home on Old Leonard Avenue through a partnership with Habitat for Humanity, Mid-Ohio, and the City of Columbus Department of Building and Zoning Services. For the past 7 months, our students have applied their skills in carpentry, electrical, plumbing, and HVAC to help bring this home to life for a Columbus family. Seeing our scholars putting the finishing touches on a project that reflects both their hard work and their real-world learning taking place in our schools makes me CCS proud. This project is an example of career technical education in action and what is possible when students, schools, and community partners come together with purpose. On Thursday, March 19th, Beechcroft High School hosted Future You Day, giving freshman students the chance to explore college and career pathways through engaging sessions, hands-on learning, and meaningful conversation. Students spent the morning exploring college and career opportunities through breakout sessions, a career fair, and conversations with professionals. The event provided students with an opportunity to reflect on their interests, discover new possibilities, and begin thinking more intentionally about the path ahead. Columbus City Schools recently joined Western Governors University in celebrating 3 of our educators whose care and commitment leave a lasting mark on their students and their school communities. Congratulations to Jennifer Peters of Briggs High School, Angela Mama Kelly of Columbus Afrocentric Early College Elementary School, and Zach Herman of Ridgeview Middle School on receiving the Outstanding Teacher Award. Whether connecting families to helpful resources or reminding students of their potential, each of these educators reflects the heart of what it means to serve. Their recognition reflected the heart of our work across Columbus City Schools and the difference dedicated educators make every single day. On Monday, March 23rd, Fort Hays Career Center welcomed the Linda May Han O Trio to the Fort Hays Performing Arts Center for an evening that showcased the incredible talent, preparation, and professionalism of our students. Through our partnership with A Tribe for Jazz, students took the lead in producing a full concert alongside internationally recognized artists, learning what it takes to meet professional industry standards in a real-world setting. This collaboration reflects our commitment to creating meaningful career-connected opportunities for students in the creative arts. Experiences like this show how our students are turning their talent, training, and hard work into real opportunities beyond the classroom. Columbus City Schools officially launched our next attendance challenge as we move through the spring season and begin the 4th and final quarter of the school year. Running from March 16th through April 17th, the Bloom Where You Learn Challenge encourages students and families to stay strong with attendance and finish the year focused, ready, and prepared to learn. This district-wide effort is a reminder that daily attendance matters and that showing up each day helps students stay connected to learning and continue growing through the final stretch of the school year. Great things grow from showing up, and this is an important time for our school communities to stay consistent, remain engaged, and finish the school year strong. These have been your highlights from around the district for March 31st. Thank you so much for joining us.
Good evening. The regular business meeting of the Columbus City School Board of Education for Tuesday, March 31st, 2026 is now called to order. Please call the roll.
Ms. Adair.
Present.
Dr. Kennedy.
Present.
Dr. Pierce.
Present.
Mr. Katzenmayer.
Present.
Vice President Ingalls.
Present.
President Dr. Miranda.
Present.
You have a quorum.
Please join me in saying the Pledge of Allegiance.
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Tonight's agenda will include public comment and a board resolution to honor Master Sergeant Tyler Simmons. It also includes a resolution to adopt our school calendars for 26-27 and 27-28 school years and discussion and review of several board policies. We will hear from board members regarding recent professional development workshops attended, and we will vote on the proposed consent agenda, which includes item 8.1 to 23.4 and other legislation. The board will then move into executive session. Is there a motion to adopt the agenda?
Motion.
Thank you. Second?
Second.
Thank you. Call the roll.
Ms. Adair?
Yes.
Dr. Kennedy?
Yes.
Vice President Ingles?
Yes.
Dr. Pierce?
Yes.
President Dr. Miranda?
Yes.
Mr. Katzenmeier?
Yes.
Motion carried.
The agenda is adopted. All right. Now it's time for public comment. Our first one will be James Hill, Jr. You're calling in? Oh, yeah.
Good evening. My name is James E. Hill Jr., and I stand before you today as both a product of Columbus City Schools and as someone committed to helping the district like this one move forward. I attended Duxbury Park, Franklin Middle School, and Beechcroft High School. My father's dedicated his career as an educator in the district for 40 plus years. And I've had the privilege of serving students as a school guidance counselor across multiple schools, including Avondale Elementary, Westgate Elementary, Berwick K-8, Oakmont Elementary, and Medina Middle School. I hold my master's in marriage and family therapy and school counseling from the University of Dayton. So when I speak to you today, I'm speaking from a lived experience, a professional experience, and results. I'm here to introduce the Real Sports League. And I want to be clear, this is not a recreation program. This is just not another after-school option. This is an outcome-based solution. REAL is designed directly to impact student behavior, attendance, academic focus, and family engagement. Because the reality is simple. If we don't engage the family, we limit the student. What makes this difference is accountability. We require parent involvement. We track engagement. We build structure around the student, both on and off the court. And the results we're seeing are real. Improved behavior, better attendance, stronger school-family connection. I'm not here asking for a partnership. I'm presenting a solution that the district can implement, a solution that produces measurable outcomes, and a solution that aligns with the goals of every board member in the room already today. So the real question becomes, how are we evaluating this program we allow into our schools? Are we measuring activities? Are we measuring the impact? Because there's a difference. And if we're honest, education is at a season where innovation is no longer optional. It's necessary. Because when organizations fail to adapt, they become irrelevant. And our students cannot afford to focus or operate in outdated systems. I'm currently in conversation with other school districts across Ohio where they're evaluating this model. And what they're asking is simple. Does it work? Can it be implemented? And will it produce results? And the answer is yes. So tonight I'm asking you to do one thing. Evaluate the real based on outcomes. Not assumptions, not labels, not traditions, but results. Because at the end of the day, this is not about a program. This is about whether we're willing to use every effective tool available to change the trajectory of our students and strengthen the families behind them. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Mr. Hill. Our next speaker will be Dr. Amber Hill, who I believe is also on a call. Okay, go ahead.
Dr. Hill?
Yes.
Go ahead.
All right.
Good evening. My name is Dr. Amber Hill, founder of the Real Sports League. Tonight I want to center the voices of our families. Through their testimonies, which will be shared with you later through email, the message was very clear. Real made a difference. Parents shared that their children found confidence again. They were excited to go to school. They felt seen, supported, and connected. Attendance improved, engagement increased, and families who once felt disconnected began showing up again. Our coaches became more than coaches. They became mentors, role models, and safe spaces for our students. This is what Real does. We just don't run programs, we build belonging. But we also saw what happens without consistent support. Opportunities shrink, teams disappear, and students lose access. So tonight, I ask that you not just listen to the testimonies, but hear their testimonies, but to act on them. Because when we connect schools, sports, and families, we are not just running programs, we are building stronger communities, and our students deserve that. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Dr. Hill. Our third participant will be Elizabeth Burkhoff.
Thank you, Dr. Chapman, President Miranda, Vice President Ingalls, and members of the board for allowing me to speak today. Tomorrow is the first day of School Library Month, and I'm here to talk to you today about the critical role that library media specialists play in our schools. I became a library media specialist at Independence High School at the beginning of this school year. It was and is my dream job. I get to spend my day surrounded by books, creating a space for students to decompress and engage with literature on their own terms. Who wouldn't want that job? Before I started in our library, we didn't have a library culture in our building. Students primarily used the library to hide during hall sweeps or skip class. Teachers would bring their class to the library to spread out, or if their room was too hot or too cold. The books sat on the shelves and on tables, dusty and untouched. Since this school year has started, over 1,000 books have been circulated, which is 1,000% increase from circulation last year. Literally, not a single book was circulated last year. This is because of my hard work. I spent most of August and September clearing out the shelves, cleaning, and making the space accessible and inviting to our high school students. I have hosted English classes to come and get books, psychology classes to come and interview their classmates, science classes doing labs. I've taught lessons about academic research and information literacy and civic responsibility. I've collaborated with teachers to create resources supporting literacy in their classrooms, even creating a guidebook to break down word problems for Algebra 1. Because of my hard work, in fact, our library was put onto your radar thanks to the advocacy of Linda Ray, our hardworking TOSA. Our library got brand new furniture in February. Now especially, students are constantly in and out of the library, doing schoolwork, working on projects, and most surprising to everyone, reading. We had so many students that wanted to read and had no space to do so before now. The library at Independence is just one of the libraries in our district that students flock to in order to feel safe. Our libraries are safe havens for our students because of our dedicated library media specialists, and they cast a wide net to students all across our district to be more engaged and highly educated people as they step into the world. Our libraries and library media specialists are essential to the daily life of our students. I hope that the board recognizes the vital work of our department, not just during School Library Month, but throughout the school year. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Burkhoff. Our final speaker will be Reginald Chapman.
Good evening. I'm coming to you all because I was falsely accused of an incident that happened at Sherwood Middle School on January the 7th. What happened was my daughter plays for Sherwood. One of her teammates got hurt. I asked everybody to clap it up because I already had the crowd engaged. So a parent got upset, told me to shut the F up. And I told the parent, well, we can go on the basketball court and play one-on-one if you feel like that. So the parent got up. I got up. I don't know what this guy is capable of doing, whatever. So once he got up, he left the gym. Now, y'all's policy say once you leave the venue, there's no re-entry. The young man came back in the gym and told me to come outside. At that time, I wasn't able to come outside because safety and security had me, y'all know what I'm saying, occupied at the time. I was, if y'all been to Sherwood, I was standing at the back of the school by the doors. In the letter, they stated I was getting into it with students, staff, and other guests. That is absolutely false. The principal was there. My family was there. At one point, I was checking on my family, and a young lady stated that the problem is gone, but the problem is still there. So I asked the young lady, why do I have to be a problem? So she turns around and hands her child off to whoever she was with. So to me, at that time, yeah, I felt threatened. I'm a man, you're a woman. So at the end of the day, I felt like, you know, there's a lot of stuff that goes on in Sherwood. I will be bringing it to the table. I feel like I shouldn't have been banned. I'm probably the only one that's being banned, coming to find out. That wasn't a parent that I got into it with. It's supposed to have been a basketball coach from Groveport. I don't know. This is what was told to me. It took them a while to send this letter to me, but they had a parent the year before, which was last year, during Thanksgiving break, tried to fight the assistant basketball coach. They sent her a letter the next day. So if I was arguing with parents, students, staff, and other visitors, why did y'all take a whole week to send me my letter if y'all felt that, you know, I was being out of control? I have been talking to the police department to obtain the call that happened at the school. So that's it. That's my time. Thank y'all.
Thank you, Mr. Chapman. Parents and anybody else that is here to support them wish to come up while we read the resolution, please do so now. To honor, recognize, and celebrate the life and service of Tyler Simmons. Whereas Tyler Simmons, a proud 2015 graduate of Eastmoor Academy High School of Columbus City Schools, lived a life marked by dedication, leadership, and service. And whereas Tyler was raised in the Berwick community on the east side of Columbus, where family, friends, neighbors, and mentors remember him as a young man whose character, positivity, and leadership left a lasting impression on those who knew him. And whereas Tyler distinguished himself as a student athlete at Eastmoor Academy, participating in football and track, demonstrating the spirit, character, and determination of an Eastmoor warrior, positively reflecting on his school and community. And whereas Tyler's early interest in aviation was cultivated through his participation in the Buckeye Tigers ACE Program Academy in 2010, where he was inspired and mentored in ways that helped shape his future pursuit of a career in aviation and military service. And whereas Tyler chose a path of service to country after graduating from Eastmoor Academy, he joined the Ohio Air National Guard and served as a master sergeant and boom operator with the 121st Air Refueling Wing at Rickenbacker Air National Guard Base in Columbus, Ohio. And whereas Master Sergeant Simmons faithfully served his country, supporting Operation Epic Fury, contributing to the critical aerial refueling missions, supporting military operations abroad. And whereas Master Sergeant Tyler Simmons tragically lost his life on March 12, 2026, while serving in the United States Air Force when his KC-135 refueling aircraft crashed during a mission over western Iraq, reminding us of the profound sacrifices made by members of the United States Armed Forces. And whereas Tyler's family, friends, coaches, and community warmly remember him for his leadership and kind, uplifting spirit, he served as an inspiration to those around him and leaves a legacy of excellence for all. Now, therefore, it be resolved by the Columbus Board of Education that this board does hereby honor, recognize, and celebrate the life and service of Master Sergeant Tyler Simmons and thank him for his dedication and service, which reflects the highest ideals and aspirations of Columbus City Schools. Moreover, this board extends its deepest condolences and heartfelt sympathy to Tyler's family, friends, fellow service members, and the Eastmoor Academy and Berwick communities as we remember and honor his life of courage, leadership, service, and sacrifice.
Second.
Is there a motion to accept this resolution?
Motion.
Second.
Second. Discussion.
On behalf of the Buckeye Tigers, I would also like to indicate that they join the Columbus City Schools in standing by us with this resolution for Master Sergeant Tyler Simmons. This resolution to honor Tyler, his family, community, and institutions that molded him into an upstanding son, friend, leader, airman, and man that he became will stand as testament to our community and students of what service and sacrifice looks like. May this resolution for Tyler be remembered by all of us and future generations to come. With this resolution, we also have a photo of his first solo flight, as well as his graduation photo and photos of him during that first monumental. The Buckeye Tigers would also like to thank him for always volunteering and answering the call whenever they needed him.
Thank you, Dr. Pierce. Any other discussion? If not, please call the roll.
Dr. Kennedy?
Yes.
Vice President Ingles?
Yes.
Dr. Pierce?
Yes.
Katzenmayer?
Yes.
Mr. Simmons?
Yes.
Ms. Adair?
Yes.
President Dr. Miranda?
Yes. Motion carries. Does the family wish to say anything?
Thank you for your overwhelming acknowledgement of our son. It's a prestigious honor, and we feel so humbled that you have chosen to use this platform to honor him. So, mucho gracias.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Ditto.
Ditto. Thank you. Okay. I don't know. Oh, you want to give that, Tina, to them?
Do you have the copy of yours too?
Should we all go, Doctor?
Yeah. Y'all want to.
It's up to you. Well, yeah.
just want to say again that he truly epitomizes what we expect for our students in Columbus City Schools. What an amazing, amazing role model. And I know the two of you are very proud of him. You did an amazing job, and I would also like to think that Columbus City Schools had a part in that as well. So, thank you. Okay, at this time, we're going to recognize Board Member Dr. Kennedy, who will read the resolution to adopt the academic calendars for the 2026-2027 and 2027-2028 school years.
Thank you, President. Dr. Miranda, resolution to adopt academic calendars for the 26, 27, and 27-28 academic school years for traditional and year-round calendars. Whereas the Board of Education has negotiated with Columbus Education Association academic calendars for the 26, 27, and 27-28 school years, and whereas the Board of Education conducted a public hearing regarding the proposed calendars and necessary revisions on February 17, 2026, and whereas the proposed calendars are attached hereto as Exhibit 1, Traditional School Calendar 26-27, Exhibit 2, Year-Round Woodcrest Elementary 26-27, Exhibit 3, Traditional School Calendar 27-28, Exhibit 4, Year-Round Woodcrest Elementary 27-28, and Exhibit 5, School Calendar Survey Report. And now, therefore, be it resolved that the Board of Education hereby adopts Exhibit 1 through 4 as the academic calendars for the Columbus City Schools for the 26-27 and 27-28 school years, and Exhibit 5 as School Calendar Survey Report. And now, be it further resolved that the Board hereby approves any reduction in instructional time through these revisions and/or pursuant to the collective bargaining agreement provisions pertaining to local building, election of additional recess periods in excess of the time permissible under Section 3313.48 of the Ohio Revised Code, provided that such additional recess periods do not result in fewer instructional hours than the law than that required by the law. I'd like to make a motion to approve the resolution.
Second.
Thank you. Any discussion? Yes.
Just one point of the discussion. I appreciate our team administering the survey, all the efforts that you all took to get engagement and participation from our community. I would just ask in the future that we include some type of question that allows individuals to indicate what area or neighborhood that they're from to give us additional insight so we understand who is really participating in the survey. Is there more of a region that's participating than another region? So thank you for that.
Thank you, Dr. Pierce. If not, no other discussion, please call the roll.
Vice President. Oh, sorry.
Mr. Katzenmeier.
Sorry, so we're, is this the first time we've released the calendar an additional year in advance? So I think that's pretty incredible, and as a parent, we'll be very thrilled with that. So also, I'd like to, commend superintendent and the team behind that. Thank you, guys. I think it's great.
All right, call the roll.
Vice President Ingalls.
Yes.
Dr. Pierce.
Yes.
Mr. Katzenmayer.
Yes.
Mr. Simmons.
Yes.
Ms. Adair.
Yes.
Dr. Kennedy.
Yes.
President Dr. Miranda.
Yes.
Motion carried.
Dr. Miranda. I just want to say thank you to CEA as well, because without them, we could not make this possible for the 2 years, which does help our families.
Thank you. Absolutely. Okay, at this time, we'll turn it over to Chair Ingalls to discuss items 4.3 through 4.9.
Thank you, President Miranda. So anytime there's a lot of legislative change, there prompts a number of policy changes that must be made by the district because that legislation essentially puts into law new terms and conditions by which school districts must comply. And so when we see lots of laws being passed or we see something like a state budget, there are lots and lots of new laws that go into effect that affect the policies of a school district. And so we are seeing lots of policies that we need to update because of legislative changes. However, I will say this first one is not in that bucket of category. The first that we are going to go through is 4.3, Policy 5460, graduation requirements. At our last board meeting, we had a presentation from the internal collaborative working group that presented the revised policy to the board. That was at our March 17th meeting. And so members of the public, anyone can go into board docs and see both the presentation that has been uploaded, as well as the video of the last meeting where you can see in person the presentation. In addition, at the Policy and Governance Committee meeting, we had a presentation from the work group on this issue, and this policy was recommended by that committee. So the policy itself expands educational options for students and reduces the credit requirement for graduation from 22 to 20 credits to align with the state's graduation requirement. I think we had a pretty robust discussion about that at the last board meeting, and so thank you to the team who put together that presentation. I thought it was very thorough and very helpful at understanding why we are changing the language. And so with that, I will make a motion to approve the language of Policy 5460 as drafted.
Second.
Any discussion? If not, please call the roll.
Dr. Pierce?
Yes.
Mr. Katzenmayer?
Yes.
Mr. Simmons?
Yes.
Ms. Adair?
Yes.
Dr. Kennedy?
Yes.
Vice President Ingalls?
Yes.
President Dr. Miranda?
Yes.
Motion carried.
All right. So we will move on to item 4.4, Policy 5421, middle and high school determination of grades. This revised policy was also developed with an internal collaborative working group to improve the grading system and address quality points. For example, the policy is now written to ensure consistency within and among the same grade level and or the content in each building. It also uses a grade point average scale instead of a quality point scale for all courses and content areas. The working group is developing a revision to Policy 5460.02, students at risk of not qualifying for a high school diploma, for presentation to the Policy and Governance Committee in the future. On our March 9th meeting of the Policy and Governance Committee, the working group presented about the middle and high school determination of grades policy. We had pretty robust discussion, and the committee agreed to forward the revised policy to the board for consideration. I will say that the committee did feel that this new draft of the policy made it much clearer, made the grading system much clearer, easier to read just straight out of the policy and really understand how grades would be calculated. So thank you so much to the working group who did all of that work behind the scenes and presented a really thorough and effective product. We appreciate it. So with that, I will make a motion to approve the language in Policy 5460.
5421.
I'm sorry, 5421.
Second.
I'm out of order.
Any discussion? If not, please call the roll.
Mr. Katzenmayer?
Yes.
Mr. Simmons?
Yes.
Ms. Adair?
Yes.
Dr. Kennedy?
Yes.
Vice President Ingalls?
Yes.
Dr. Pierce?
Yes.
President Dr. Miranda?
Yes.
Motion carried.
Okay. The topic everyone loves to talk about. Item 4.5 in the board docs is Policy 7540.09, the Artificial Intelligence Policy. This is one that I actually do get stopped in the community and asked about quite a bit, and I'm sure my colleagues could agree. Ohio Revised Code 3301.24, which is House Bill 96, which is the state budget bill, requires school districts to adopt a policy by July 1st on the area of artificial intelligence. The policy presented this evening was developed by an interdepartmental artificial intelligence work group of approximately 50 members. That's 50 people getting together and collaborating and thinking about how this would operate in different spaces of the operation. In the final stages of the work group's development of the policy, the Ohio Department of Education issued a model policy, which the group then considered when creating the final versions of its recommended board policy. At its meeting on March 9th, the Policy and Governance Committee agreed to forward the draft policy to the board for consideration and approval. Given the rapid evolution of artificial intelligence, this policy will likely require ongoing review and updates in the future, and those may come in the form of administrative guidelines, which are more easily malleable, more easily changed to the things that are arising at the moment. But the committee did feel very strongly that the policy was thorough, addressed both all of the legally compliant necessities from ODU and from state law, and then also made sense for the operation. So we did do a first read of that, and so I will go ahead and make a motion to adopt the policy of 7540.09.
Second.
Any discussion? If not, please call the roll.
Mr. Simmons?
Yes.
Ms. Adair?
Yes.
Dr. Kennedy?
Yes.
Vice President Ingles?
Yes.
Dr. Pierce?
Yes.
Mr. Katzenmayer?
Yes.
President Dr. Miranda?
Yes.
Motion carried.
All right, thank you, and thank you to the work group who has been working well over a year on that project. All right, we are going to move into item 4.6, policy 4162.01, drug and alcohol testing of classified employees without CDL licenses who transport students in alternative vehicles. This policy is required because we are currently out of compliance. Ohio Administrative Code 3301-83-06 from July 1st, 2025. Ohio Revised Code 3301-83-1906 became effective July 24th, 2025, and both were found within House Bill 54. So we need to come into compliance with the requirements from the Administrative Code. This policy is the product of a collaboration between the Labor Management and Employee Relations Department and our union representatives. So thank you to everyone involved who has made this such a success. The Labor Management and Employee Relations team presented to the Policy and Governance Committee on March 9th about this policy. At that time, we did ask that they go back and that our labor relations team go back and work with our union partners just to kind of solidify and make sure we were in a good place and that they felt solid, that we felt solid. And that happened. And I'm pleased to report that all parties are feeling okay about the language of this policy. And this policy is required to address classified employees who transport students in vehicles designed for up to 12 passengers and do not hold a commercial driver's license. So to comply, to come into compliance with the law, I am asking that this board adopt policy 4162.01.
Did you motion?
Motion.
You motion?
Motion to adopt.
Okay, second. Any discussion? Yes. Pierce.
I want to thank the committee and everyone for their due diligence in reviewing this policy to make sure that we are within compliance. I look forward to our 3000 series, which will also look at coaches who are transporting our students. So I think we also need to have due diligence with that as well. So looking forward to the next steps, as this is the first step to our commitment for student safety in terms of transportation.
Thank you, Dr. Pierce. All right. Call the roll.
Ms. Adair?
Yes.
Dr. Kennedy?
Yes.
Vice President Ingles?
Yes.
Dr. Pierce?
Yes.
Mr. Katzenmayer?
Yes.
Mr. Simmons?
Yes.
Board President Dr. Miranda?
Yes.
Motion carried.
Moving along. Item 4.7 in the agenda tonight is policy 5336, care of students with diabetes. This is another one that I am very proud that the team has worked diligently, both our union partners and our administrative team working together to reach resolution and perfect the language on this revised policy. Under this policy, only school nurses, other licensed medical professionals, or the student can administer insulin injections. Trained school employees may provide other diabetes care, but may not administer insulin. The revised policy ensures consistency with revised code 3313.7112, which was found in House Bill 33. So again, this is a legally compliant policy that we are required to update. And so that revised policy provides that diabetes medication may be administered by a school nurse, or if one is unavailable, a trained school employee. Participation, and this is new language, participation in diabetes care training is voluntary and employees cannot be disciplined for declining to participate. Training employees are immune from liability except in cases of willful or wanton misconduct, and school employees cannot be disciplined by the district for providing diabetes care. As well as school nurses are protected from disciplinary action by licensing boards when care is provided in accordance with the professional standards. The Policy and Governance Committee voted to move this policy to the full board for adoption, but first asked that the team just go back, especially with our OPC partners. We had worked by that point with our CEA partners pretty thoroughly, asked to go back and work with our OPC partners as some of the secretaries could have been implicated or were implicated by some of the language, and so they did that, and I'm pleased to report that all parties are feeling pretty good about the policy moving forward. So with that, I will ask that this board adopt Policy 5336, Care of Students with Diabetes, and that is a motion.
Second.
Thank you. Any discussion? Yes.
Thank you, President.
Board Member Simmons, yeah.
Thank you, President Dr. Miranda. I just had a question about the policy. If a family made the decision, mom or dad wants to come to the school and administer the insulin on, for that particular day, maybe you have a student that just, it's easier for everyone involved if it's the parent who comes and does that. Would that be permissible under this policy for a parent or legal guardian to come in and administer the insulin in the school building?
I'm going to allow our experts to answer that question. We did have discussion about that in committee.
Members of the board. No, we don't allow parents or family members to administer insulin in the schools. They're not an employee of the school, and there's liabilities with that, with them not being an employee.
Mm-hmm. And so they would need to sign their student out and then leave the board's property, or exactly what would we advise a parent?
Hopefully they wouldn't do that, but that
well,
yeah,
I'm asking what we would advise the parent to do in that situation.
Excuse me?
What would we advise the parent to do in that situation? In the scenario I'm describing, for whatever reason, the family, the student, and the parent have decided it makes more sense for them to come administer it. I'm not saying every day, but it's a one-off incident. Maybe you have a student who, just responds better to their parent than they do our staff. And mom or dad comes in the building and they say, I'd like to do this. And so the school nurse says, oh, no, I'm sorry, our policy says X, that's not permissible. What would our next step be? Or, I'd imagine if we had discussion about this, we thought, well, we would tell our families.
Right, according to the policy, they couldn't administer it, so they would be advised to leave. But I just want to say
with
that—
their student or by themselves?
No, if they want to administer the insulin, they cannot do it in schools.
No, I know, but you said they'd be advised to leave. Would they be advised to leave
If
with
they wanted
their student
to administer it to their student, the student would have to go with them.
But what would they be advised to do? Just leave and go home, or they'd be advised to leave and take the student with them and administer the insulin?
This hasn't come up, but I would, I prefer that they would stay at the school and let the nurse administer the medication.
So we would advise the parent not to administer the insulin?
Yes, and there's communication that happens with the school nurse, and we have, very talented, experienced school nurses who can explain, their education experience and explain the whys that they can't give it.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay. There are no other comments or discussion. Call the roll.
Dr. Kennedy?
Yes.
Vice President Ingalls?
Yes.
Dr. Pierce?
Yes.
Mr. Katzenmayer?
Yes.
Mr. Simmons?
No.
Ms. Adair?
Yes.
President Dr. Miranda?
Yes.
Motion carried.
Item 4.8 is Policy 5330, Use of Medications. This is related to prescription-only medications. Ohio Revised Code 3313.713 in House Bill 70 became effective March 20th, 2025, and requires revision of this policy. This revised policy reflects the specific provisions in the new law to clarify how medications are defined. Further, the policy was revised to reflect the provisions of the Ohio Revised Code 3313.7117 found in House Bill 206, which became effective on April 9th, 2025, and authorizes the storage and use of drugs used to treat seizures. In practice, the district is currently complying with the law. However, in its current form, the policy is inconsistent with the law and will not align with other health services policies if it is not updated. Trained employees are protected from civil liability from administering or failing to administer prescription drugs unless it involves gross negligence, willful misconduct, or reckless misconduct. The revised policy now clearly distinguishes prescription medications from over-the-counter medications as required by statute. The Policy and Governance Committee did agree to move this policy to the full board for adoption because of legal compliance and the urgency in becoming compliant with the law. And therefore, I would make a motion that this board approve Policy 5330.
Thank you, Board Member Adair. Any discussion? If not, please call the roll.
Vice President Ingles,
Yes.
Dr. Pierce,
Yes.
Mr. Katzenmayer,
Yes.
Mr. Simmons,
Yes.
Ms. Adair, Dr. Kennedy,
Yes.
President Dr. Miranda.
Yes.
Motion carried.
Okay. Item 4.9, Policy 8500.01 is the misbranded food and cultivated protein food products. House Bill 10, Ohio Revised Code 3715.60, became effective on March 20th, 2026, and requires this new policy. The law applies to any person, partnership, corporation, or association involved in the manufacturing, packing, or distribution of food products. The purpose of this state requirement is to protect consumers from false, misleading, or deceptive labeling. It requires accurate labeling regarding ingredients, nutritional content, and manufacturer information, ensuring food products are not sold under false pretenses or imitation names without proper disclosure. So it is a very short policy. It is, in fact, one sentence that is fully legally compliant so that we can comply with that requirement under state law. And therefore, I ask that this board adopt Policy 8500.01.
Okay. Thank you, Board Member Adair. Any discussion?
So,
Board Member Katzenmayer?
Thank you. So does this impact our operations in any way, or I don't understand what this is? Unbranded meat product.
If you watch the committee testimony and some of the committee testimony about the law that was passed, it's really targeting the fake meat industry.
Okay.
And labeling things to make clear what is and is not real dairy product, real meat, all of those kinds of things. So as far as what it would affect our operations, I think our stuff is clearly labeled as to what is not in the ingredients itself. I don't think we have an issue with that. It's simply that we must label it, and therefore, to become legally compliant, we need to pass the policy that requires that.
Great. Thank you.
If there's no further discussion, yes, Board Member Simmons.
Thank you, President Dr. Miranda. Why is milk not included?
I actually don't know the answer to that.
You know, there's lots of milk substitutes in the same way. There's, a black bean veggie burger, for example. And so, if we were to purchase almond milk and it was labeled milk, that's a similar hot button topic with folks who prescribe to these types of beliefs regarding the mislabeling of the food items.
Dr. Chapman, is there anybody on the team who can speak to that or feels? Yeah, go ahead.
Report.
We didn't discuss that.
This was a policy that's strictly required by the legislature, and this is their language that they used. So we didn't take away, neither took away nor added to the legislature's language.
Other questions?
Is milk a cultivated protein food product under this policy?
I'm not an expert in that field, so I cannot answer that question.
Is there someone here, Dr. Chapman, who is available to answer if milk is a cultivated protein food product under this proposed policy?
It's not, to my knowledge, milk was not included in the language of the policy. Again, this was language that we received from Neola with the recommendation, and it did not include milk. So
No, I understand milk isn't included, but then there's this line, it says meat product or an egg product or that is a cultivated protein food product. So I guess even though milk isn't explicitly said, if milk is a cultivated protein food product, then milk would fall under this policy. And so my question that I would like an answer to is, under this policy, does milk fall under a cultivated protein food product? And also, it might be, it says as defined by state law, so if we just use the language from the statute, that we should know that if we use the statute to write this policy, because it says it's defined by state law.
The statute does not.
It doesn't define what a cultivated protein food product is?
There's no definition.
Oh, then what does it mean when it says, what does the policy mean when it says as defined by state law? What's defined by state law if there's no definition?
This isn't, yeah.
Through the chair, good afternoon, President Miranda. Cultivated food products are real animal products identified as meat, poultry, and seafoods. Real animal products classified as meat, poultry, and seafoods.
Which statute is that?
It's 3715.60 is the relevant statute.
Thank you. So milk would be not considered a cultivated protein food product under this policy?
Milk would not be considered.
Okay, thank you.
If there are no other comments or discussion, call the roll.
Dr. Pierce?
Yes.
Mr. Katzenmayer?
Yes.
Mr. Simmons?
Yes.
Ms. Adair?
Yes.
Dr. Kennedy?
Yes.
Vice President Ingalls?
Yes.
President Dr. Miranda?
Yes.
Motion carried.
Thank you to all the teams who have put all of that work into getting that together, and thank you to Kyle and James, our fearless leaders on the Policy and Governance Committee.
Yes. Thank you, Vice President Ingalls. All right, we're going to turn it over to Dr. Pierce, who has attended a number of professional conferences, and she's going to share out her experiences, report out.
Thank you so much, President Miranda. So good evening. I'm pleased to share highlights from my recent participation at the Ohio School Board Association Spring Central Region Conference, as well as the State Legislative Conference, where I represented our board and district along fellow educational leaders across Ohio. In terms of the Spring Central Region Conference, there was a very engaging student presentation by a young man who is working on neuroscience and helping advance that area in a really unique way by developing caps and softwares that recognize different textures of hair. The way that existing scientific caps have been made, they only recognize certain types of hair. And so his contribution to this research is that it recognizes a variety of different hairs. So it was a really great presentation by that student from Olentangy, and really pushed forward the need for diversity in science and that we continue that great work. I was very honored to receive a service award as well. So it was a great, enjoyable evening. I encourage everyone to participate in our Central Region events and activities. I also attended our state legislative conference alongside of our superintendent, Dr. Chapman, our treasurer, Mr. Cook, and Dr. Roush is not here, but Mr. Cook, what is Dr. Roush's title? What is he?
Executive Director of Financial Affairs.
There we go. So our Executive Director of Financial Affairs, Dr. Roush. So there were a number of important legislative items that were discussed
And I'm going to give an overview of those. We also had engaging comments and a panel that included our governor as well as various state legislators and representatives from the Ohio Department of Workforce and Ohio Department of Education and Workforce. The first bill that I'll kind of just touch on, and I'm just touching on these briefly to just share what OSBA is urging school boards to do. I encourage all of our colleagues as well as our staff to read through the legislation, talk to our constituents, and figure out what would be the best policy preference for our district. So the first one was Senate Bill 19, which related to math achievement. This targets math achievement statewide. The bill would require districts to create math improvement plans for struggling students, publish curriculum quality on state report cards, and ensure that high-performing 7th graders are enrolled in Algebra 1 in the 8th grade. While OSBA supports the goals of stronger math outcomes, they are asking that legislators allow districts flexibility and to use research-based support systems rather than one-size-fit-all prescriptive plans. They are also asking that student placement decisions be based on multiple measures, not just a single score, as students deserve a fuller picture of their abilities. And I know our board has recently discussed this, and I look forward to our continued conversations around it. And also just want to give our team a big kudos because based upon one of our previous monitoring reports, we do know that a number of our 7th graders are actually taking that algebra, that higher level math. And so our district is right on target and working on those things, but we need to continue to push to make sure that these policies and these bills that are being proposed, again, are in the best interest of our entire district. The next bill was Senate Bill 311. It was school operations reform. This bill touches several areas of school operation. A particular concern is a provision that could require districts to sell or lease buildings that are deemed unused, even when those buildings serve an important long-term planning purpose. OSBA is asking for the legislature to strengthen the exceptions in this bill so that districts can preserve property for future growth, consider the capacity of all buildings in a district, not just one, and protect students from excessive bus ride times if a building were to close. OSBA would also want to add that any sold property be offered back to the district first before going to the open market. There's also one educator licensure provision within this bill, and OSBA is supportive of the increased flexibility being proposed and will continue to monitor the language as this bill moves forward. So again, with Senate Bill 311, we want to make sure that we're monitoring that. I know that our ETRM is doing a number of things as it relates to our facilities, our land and assets. And also I know that a number of our unions and our community is very concerned about how we are closing or deeming buildings to be unused. So we definitely want to encourage individuals to read up on that bill and to advocate and be vocal for a position that will support our district. The next bill is House Bill 455, modernizing Ohio's education code. So with this House bill, it's a bill that OSBA fully supports, and they're urging legislators to pass it as written. It modernizes Ohio's education code by cutting outdated requirements and reducing unnecessary administrative burdens so leaders can focus on what matters the most, and that's teaching and learning. So among its highlights, it fixes a data issue on the state report card related to early literacy. It expands how students can demonstrate college and career readiness, and it ensures that students with disabilities who delay their diploma can continue receiving services and are not incorrectly counted as dropouts. It also streamlines how our board can fill vacancies by giving us a full 60-day window at any regular or special meeting. And so again, OSBA is asking for passage as is, and they see this as common sense legislation. The next bill is Senate Bill 328, Career Exploration in Middle School. And so this bill would require structured career exploration beginning in middle school, including academic and career plans for all 8th graders, and at least a half-unit course in career exploration for grades 6 through 8. OSBA supports the goals of connecting students to our workforce paths earlier. However, OSBA is asking legislators to give districts flexibility in how the instruction is delivered, allowing career content to be embedded in existing courses rather than requiring these standalone courses. And OSBA is also requesting a delayed start to this bill being implemented, and that delayed start would be in the 2027-28 school year. So OSBA is asking also that there be funding that be provided to make the implementation successful. They are concerned that it would be an unfunded mandate and place real burdens on local districts. Our next bill that was discussed was Senate Bill 144, again, education. This deals with educator licensures, specifically the grade bands, and so this bill restructures how educator licenses are organized, creating 3 new grade bands, pre-K through 5, 4 through 8, and 7 through 12. And so while OSBA understands the intent of this bill to better align licensures with how schools are structured, they are also asking that the bill be amended in 2 important ways. The first is to allow for a K-12 principal license, so building leaders aren't restricted by the new grade bands. And then second, to allow retiring teachers to apply for a permanent substitute license. The next bill was House Bill 473, our retirement contribution pickup plans, and so OSBA is actively opposing this bill. So House Bill 473 would eliminate 2 widely used methods that allow school districts to pay a portion of an employee's retirement contributions on their behalf. This is commonly known as pickup plans. So these arrangements are a key tool that we use to attract and retain quality staff. Eliminating them would reduce kind of what the employee takes home. And so in one instance, they give an example that it would force districts to restructure our compensation to hold employees harmless, increasing salary and benefit costs by an estimated 3.7% just to maintain effective wages. And so again, OSBA is urging that we oppose this with cascading effects on workers' compensation, unemployment, and leave costs. The financial impact on our district and other districts would be significant. Another bill that we discussed, or that was the focus, was House Bill 684, and it relates to our educational service centers, the governance of them. And so this bill would make significant changes to how our education centers, territories, and governing boards are structured. So these changes could affect the services our districts receive through our ESC partnerships. And so again, while the bill has merit and concept, the Ohio Education Service Center Association has convened a working group of ESCs, superintendents, to develop specific recommendations in collaboration with the bill sponsor. And so OSBA is supporting the request to pause committee hearings until that collaborative work is complete. Finally, I just want to share an update on the statewide transportation work group, which was established as a part of Ohio's budget bill. This group is made up of legislators, district representatives, community schools, private schools, and transportation experts, and has been studying how Ohio can better serve students who rely on school transportation. Their guiding principle is real simple, straight to the point. Every student who qualifies for transportation should get to school safely and reliably. Draft recommendations include allowing transportation funding to follow the student, creating a statewide registration system for transportation needs, encouraging regional partnerships among districts, and funding a one-time pilot program to test innovative transportation solutions. OSBA is urging legislators to let this work group complete its work and to use those recommendations rather than the punitive measures proposed in Senate Bill 311. In closing, from math achievement to career readiness, from education licensures to retirement benefits, there was a lot to discuss at the state legislative conference. It is very clear that there are a number of important issues that our community, that our board can advocate for and on behalf of. Attending this conference reinforced just how much state policy shapes what happens in our district, in our classroom, in our communities every day. I was proud to represent our district, and I want to encourage our board, our staff, and community to continue to monitor these bills, and hopefully we will have other members that will bring updates as we continue to monitor the bills on your behalf by attending various conferences, discussions, and conversations. Happy to answer any questions if anybody has any.
Thank you, Dr. Pierce. Any questions for Dr. Pierce? I just want to thank you for attending and congratulations on your award. And I also want to echo that it's critically important that we follow policy and legislation that's happening because it does affect our district in many different ways. And so there are a number of different ways that we stay on top of policy and legislation, but it is something we need to keep our eye on. So thank you, Dr. Pierce, for bringing us up to date on some of the bills that are trying to get through. And we're hoping that not all of them get through.
That part.
So.
That part.
Okay. Yes. All right. Dr. Chapman, do you have a report for us this evening?
Good evening, Dr. Miranda and board members. I don't have an official report, but I have a few remarks. I would like to take a moment to acknowledge again the adoption of the 26-27, 27-28 school year calendars. This is an important step for our families, our staff, and our school communities because it provides added clarity and helps us plan ahead with greater confidence. I appreciate the board's support in moving this work forward, and I also want to thank our association leadership for their collaboration throughout the process. Having 2 years of approved calendars in place is something our families have asked for, and I'm glad we're able to respond in a way that brings greater consistency and predictability. It's one more example of how we can listen, plan ahead, and make decisions that better support our community. And on graduation requirements, I also want to reiterate my support for the proposed revisions to our district's graduation requirements policy. During the March 17th board meeting, we shared this proposal represents an important step forward in how we support students on their path to graduation. These proposed changes remove barriers while maintaining rigor and high expectations, and that balance matters. They provide students with greater autonomy, choice, and flexibility while ensuring that our local policy reflects the pathways and opportunities now available through the state. And what I appreciate most is what this means for our young people. It means more opportunities to pursue their interests, more room to shape an academic journey that reflects their goals, and more ways to demonstrate readiness for what comes next. This proposal supports our board goal around increasing graduation outcomes and closing opportunity gaps. It also reflects the direction of our Portrait of a Graduate work, which calls on us to prepare students not only to earn a diploma, but to leave Columbus City Schools ready to lead within their respective communities. And as we head into spring break, T-minus 2 days, I want to wish our students, our families, and our staff a safe, restful, and enjoyable break from April 3rd through April 10th. I hope this time gives everyone a chance to recharge, spend time with loved ones, and return ready for the important work ahead. We look forward to welcoming students and staff back to school on Monday, April 13th. When we return, will be an important stretch of the fourth and final quarter, and daily attendance will matter. Showing up to school each day on time and ready to learn is one of the strongest ways students can stay connected to instruction, maintain momentum, and finish the school year strong. I know our students, families, and staff will come back focused and ready to make the most of every day as we close out the year together. So thank you,
and happy spring break. And this concludes my remarks for this evening.
Thank you, Dr. Chapman. Any questions for Dr. Chapman? Okay. Mr. O'Connor, do you have a report?
I do not, thank you.
Okay.
No report either this evening.
Mr. Cook, do you have a report?
I do not.
No. You guys are ready for spring break. Okay, gotcha.
We're getting there.
Getting there. Okay. It's now time to vote on the consent agenda. We are going to consider the items 8.1 to 23.4. Are there any items a member would like to have removed and voted on individually from the consent agenda? Okay. If there's not, please. Is there a motion?
Motion to approve the
Okay, thank
consent
you, Dr.
agenda.
Pierce.
You're welcome, Doc.
Second, thank you, Dr. Kennedy. All right, if there's no discussion, then please call the roll.
Mr. Simmons.
Would you come back to me? I need to abstain from one, and I want to make sure I get the number correct.
Ms. Adair.
Yes.
Dr. Kennedy.
Yes.
Vice President Ingles.
Yes.
Dr. Pierce.
Yes.
Mr. Katzenmayer.
Yes.
Mr. Simmons.
Okay. Yes, with the exception of 16.1 and 16.2, for which I vote no on, and the exception of 17.2, for which I abstain.
Noted. Thank you. President Dr. Miranda.
Yes.
Motion carried.
I need to amend my vote.
Okay.
I need an abstention on 15.4.
15.4.
Yes.
Thank you. Noted.
Okay.
Motion carried.
Okay, thank you. We will now consider Section 24, other legislation, 24.1. Is there a motion to consider 24.1?
Motion to consider.
Thank you, Mr. Board Member Simmons. Second?
Second.
Okay, thank you. Discussion? If not, please call the roll.
Ms. Adair.
Yes.
Dr. Kennedy.
Yes.
Vice President Ingles.
Yes.
Dr. Pierce.
Yes.
Mr. Katzenmayer.
Yes.
Mr. Simmons.
Yes.
President Dr. Miranda.
Yes.
Motion carried.
Thank you. Before we adjourn to our executive session, we want to invite you to join the Board of Education on Thursday, April 16th at 6 p.m. at East High School. We are excited to welcome Michael Wilkos from the United Way of Central Ohio, who will conduct a town hall discussion on how a rapidly changing city is impacting the Columbus City Schools District. We look forward to seeing you there. The chair now recognizes Board Member Sarah Ingles for a motion.
It is recommended that the Board of Education move immediately into executive session pursuant to Ohio Revised Code Section 121.22 G1 to consider the appointment, employment, dismissal, discipline, promotion, demotion, or compensation of an employee or of a public employee or official, or the investigation of charges or complaints against a public employee, official, licensee, or regulated individual, unless the public employee, official, licensee, or regulated individual requests a public hearing, and G4, preparing for, conducting, or reviewing negotiations or bargaining sessions with the public employees concerning their compensation or other terms and conditions of their employment. That is a motion.
Is there a second?
Second.
Okay, thank you. Please call the roll.
Dr. Kennedy.
Yes.
Vice President Ingles.
Yes.
Dr. Pierce.
Yes.
Mr. Katzenmayer.
Yes.
Mr. Simmons.
Yes.
Ms. Adair.
Yes.
President Dr. Miranda.
Yes.
Motion carried.
Thank you. Please note that the board will adjourn following our executive session this evening and will not be reconvening in this room.